All right, we are back here on the Final Score podcast and on Facebook Live. Greg Swateck of the Frederick News Post Sports Department here with you. And I'm very pleased to be joined right now by three members of the Frederick High School girls track and field team, back-to-back state champions in Class 3A, sprinter Jada Smith, coach Rob Dixon, and sprinter, hurdler, jumper Hannah Meredith. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
Coach Dixon, why were your girls able to repeat as state champions?
First of all, they're tough, very intelligent. They set the goal for themselves after we completed this task last year, and they said they wanted to do it again. And like we said last year, we had depth, a great coaching staff, an awesome environment to train and be successful at Frederick High School. And they locked in and got it done.
Yeah, I want to start there because last year you guys were busing over to Oakdale to train because Frederick High School was still under construction. You guys were sort of making do and just trying to just get in workouts any way you could. I mean, how was this year different being able to train at your own facility?
Absolutely. So, we thank Oakdale for that, and congratulations to the men for their state championship also, and the coaching staff there. But yes, it was hectic. Our training time was cut short. Our technical work was cut short. The ability to do handoff, jumps, marks, hurdles, blocks. You're spending an hour of your entire practice in transport. Being at the school made us more comfortable. We could be a little bit more relaxed, and we could manage our time better to get more focused workouts in. And I think we saw the result in that in the performances of our distance, our throws, our jumps, and just the massive depth that we were able to build in the hurdles and, of course, our fast relay time. So we were a lot more comfortable.
And you didn't have to travel, too. You didn't have to
Absolutely.
get kids on the bus, so just the comfort of being at home, that had to help, too.
Absolutely.
So,
just walk outside, grab your equipment, go inside, use the bathroom, have access to our training staff, Coach Scott. Kids could actually, study if they needed to do extra work after school and then run out to practice. So it's no place like home. And we're happy to have that building and the staff and everything made it much more comfortable for us.
How would you compare the two championships?
They're similar, but they're extremely different. So I think we did not think that, at some point in time, we didn't think that either one would be able to be accomplished, but we continued to look past that and tell ourselves that we were state champs. We gather and we break on state champs from the first practice, preseason, tryouts, everything. We scored more points this one. We had a very formidable opponent, Franklin, and that very talented team of girls there actually made us think and rethink our strategy several times. But when it was all said and done, we just decided to go with what we thought was best and go to war. We didn't really care what they would do. We knew what we wanted to do, and we said if we executed our strategy, we would have an opportunity to win. And sometimes in sports, that's all you can ask for is the opportunity. It just so happened that things fell our way. We executed. We had a lot of underclassmen step up, which I hope that people see beyond these two superstars I have sitting here. There's so many people behind this that not only did what they were supposed to do, but actually pulled more weight and stepped up and scored more points. And we were able to pull it off. But it starts with the vision.
Like you said, it takes a full team to win a state track and field championship. But I want to ask you about the two superstars that are sitting next to you. Jada, the state champion in the 100-meter dash, 200-meter dash. She defended both of those championships. Mm-hmm. She also won the long jump for the first time. And Hannah, a place winner in both the hurdle races and the triple jump. What makes both of them so special? What makes them superstars?
So, again, it's a lot. They come from beautiful, strong, God-fearing families, number one. They're extremely intelligent, both academically and kind of in life, right? If there is a such thing as street smarts. Not that they're in the streets, but they know how to manage things outside of a book. They're hard workers. And unlike many of the athletes that I've had the pleasure to coach over the years, they know when to hit the switch. They have that it when they turn it on, as well as several other people on our team, Paige being one of them, Mikhail being another, our coaching staff. Like when their backs are against the wall, they turn it on. I knew that we were going to have a great meet because Hannah started us off dropping the third place in the triple jump, and she didn't even get her last jump. She had to go to the trials of the hurdles, and we saw the result there. So I saw the focus in her eyes, and what that did was that lit the rest of our team that said, oh, hey, our leader, our vocal leader, our physical leader, our the person that runs through pain on our team, our intellectual leader, our rah-rah leader is ready to roll. Everybody woke up. Switching the light kind of to Jada, who is a little bit more silent but still a leader by action. Same high intelligence, self-driven, hit the switch. I don't have to worry about where I'm at on the track if she's warming up. If she's ready by the time I'm getting there, she doesn't need too much from me. She did the exact same thing. In the trials, she ran a time, and everybody was wondering whether she was primed or not. When we had a little race adjustment and conversation, she was like, I got this. And she let me know that she was ready to roll outside of a couple little adjustments. So with these two, they're kind of our fire starters. They're our backbone and our brain, our heart and our soul.
Right, and when people come to the meets to watch these athletes compete and come to the state meet to watch them win championships, that's just the end product. I mean, there's a lot of work goes into that, and you ask them to do things that they don't necessarily want to do. I know, Jada, you're out there running 400s and 800s in some of the toughest races, right?
Yeah, definitely, especially towards the beginning of the season, and even starting indoor with all the 300s, we kind of moved me up in distance a little bit just to get used to running faster for longer.
And how much do you hate those races?
So much. It hasn't changed. I thought that I was going to grow out of it. I still haven't. I try to embrace them a little bit more, or at least like mentally just shut off a little bit so I can just get through the line. But I still hate them just as much as I have.
What are the things that you have to do that you hate, Hannah?
I actually don't mind most races. If I'm trained in it, I don't mind running it. Like towards the end of the season, I was doing 800s, and that surprised a lot of people because usually I'm in like 100 hurdles or the shorter races. So I honestly don't mind. I have a wide range. I have that endurance in me as well as the quickness. So if I'm trained in it, I don't mind any race. There's
a method behind the madness, though, right, Coach Dixon? I mean, why is it important to push these girls outside of their comfort zone?
Absolutely. Number one, because it prepares you for life. It's more than track and field, and great coaches and great programs know that. These young ladies are going to face adversity in life, and I hope that they have the endurance to push through. Coming back to track specifically is you have to train certain systems, endurance, speed, explosion, foot quickness, technique, power, all those different things. So when you're trying to analyze an entire season where you have limited practice, and all coaches were bit by the weather bug this year. So last year it was facilities. We had awesome weather now that we look back. This year we had an awesome facility, but our hurdles and our jump pits were floating around downtown Frederick almost. So we were.
Plus it was cold.
Exactly.
For a long time.
Cold for long and then very, very wet. So we almost didn't get a lot of high-level practice in until like a week and a half. We were extremely nervous, but everybody was under those conditions, so we don't make it an issue. Our throws coach, Jeff, did a great job of making sure the throwers were primed. We got in the pit as much as we could with the jumpers. The hurlers, we actually laid a lot of that foundation in the beginning of the indoor season, and it just kind of, rolled through. So it's staying organized. It's having the awesome staff there. It's, again, having the flexibility. Coach Keyvet Hammond allows us to change practice times, to switch with other teams, to come in late, come in early, access the building. So it's all kind of the championship mentality at Frederick High School.
And Jada, I know you mentioned the other day that you had never really competed your best at the state meet, largely because it's so cold, and then all of a sudden it's like 90 degrees and humid at the state meet. But, man, did you have a great weekend. And that 100-meter dash, I mean, setting the record for all classifications for girls, 11.63 was your time. I mean, what was your reaction when that time popped up on the board?
Initially, I was waiting for, as I was looking up at the board, I was waiting for the actual time to come up because they had been announcing like unofficially, and it was always like 0.3 or 4 off. So I kept looking, and it didn't go away. So I was just really excited because it felt like I was running a really clean and really technically great race, but I wasn't expecting that. So I was really pleasantly surprised and excited just to know that I could drop back down when I needed to and that I still had it in me, because I hadn't run a time like that since sophomore year at nationals. So just to be able to go beyond where I thought my peak was really exciting for me.
But to think that no girl has ever run a faster time at the state meet, I mean, how does that make you feel?
I felt it had been something that I felt like I should be able to do, and it had been in the back of my mind a little bit for a long time, especially throughout indoor when a goal of mine was to get the 55 record, and I missed it by, I don't even know, like .001. And so I kind of had that goal, and so to be able to do it, I just felt really, really great and accomplished, and I hadn't been able to do something like that my whole career, so I felt like I had finally done exactly what I came to do.
And then in the 200, you ran a 23.91, which was also a personal best. I mean, what was that race like for you?
That one, well, I was warming up, and I felt like kind of sluggish and drowsy, and I felt like the heat was getting to me, and so I went out just trying, and I knew it was going to be a close race, so I went out just trying to get the 10 points for my team. And at that point, I had kind of checked out mentally a little bit, and I stopped considering the time as much because I knew that all of us were running in these conditions, and it was the second day, so I was going to be really tired. But going from the first day to the second, I tried to change my strategy a little bit more and attack it from the start as much as I could and use as much of that energy as possible while I had it. And so it ended up paying off, and I think I ran a much better race that second day, so I'm glad that the time reflected that.
And you still had the energy to find an 18.4 jump in the long jump to win that. What was your reaction? I mean, I know that's the event you really wanted because you hadn't won it before.
Yeah. Well, I had wanted the meet before. I had been off the board for most of my jumps, and then the last one, I decided to move the mark up a whole lot, and I scratched 19:10. So I was really looking to come to States and do it, I guess, correctly, but that didn't happen, and I understand it was really busy. That was a really busy time. They were kind of really rolling through the meet, but I think I handled going over there and making adjustments and just going through the motions and fixing my little technical things. So to be able to do it and come out with the win like I hadn't been before, since I've been doing it, I think, for 3 years now at States, I was really, really excited and just proud that I could say that I had done it. So that was great.
We need to mention, too, that you also ran the anchor leg for the 4x1 relay, which finished second. So you just missed winning 4 individual state gold medals. I mean, on such a hot day like that, I mean, how do you manage your energy? I mean, how do you get through it mentally? I mean, because that must be the biggest challenge.
It definitely is a big challenge, but Coach Rob does a great job of preparing us all throughout the season for adversities like that. And so mentally, I knew what it would be like and what I would have to do and what kind of adjustments I would have to make. So physically, the whole team, we had set up outside of the stadium to avoid distractions and the sun. We had a lot of tents set up. We were drinking water all throughout the day. And I was just kind of trying to stay off my feet, out of the sun, and things like that.
Hannah, awesome weekend for you too. PRs in both the hurdle races. You were second in the 110 hurdles, fifth in the 300 hurdles. Just how did you feel about your meet and your performance over the weekend?
I was actually very surprised. A goal of mine this whole season was just to go under 15 because I only went under 15 3 times, like total throughout my whole high school career, and a good competitive time for my age and to be a senior going to college is under 14.7, or just to run a competitive time to even get to nationals. So the fact that I ran 14.5 was very surprising, and I was very excited because I did end up qualifying for nationals. And then for the 300 hurdles, my goal has always been to break 46 seconds as well and just to hit that 45. So I was very surprised with that as well. But I feel like I usually rise to the occasion when it comes to state meet. Like different than other runners, I excel in the heat. I like the heat. I like to run in the heat. Like, I feel really good when I'm hot. So I was ready both days. I was just ready to go for all my events.
Tell us what it's like to run the 300 hurdles. That seems like it's such a daunting and grueling race.
I actually enjoy them more than I did last year. Once I started to train for it more and really embrace it, I really didn't see myself as like a 300-meter runner. But once my coaches were telling me, like, you can really do this, you can excel in this, I accepted it and mentally clocked into the race, and then the results have been showing on the track.
And what did you do to train for it specifically?
Well, we do stuff like broken 200s or broken 400s, so we'd be 200 repeats, or we do 400 repeats, or we would do 800s at the beginning of every practice just to get our endurance back up. Just anything over a 200 to work back down, because you have to train up to to perform on a race that's lower down. So.
And we mentioned your third place finish in the triple jump as well. Did that really set the tone for your weekend and really get things rolling for you?
Yes, very surprising. I did not think I would even place top 3 at all. Triple jump is very competitive. So the fact that I went out and even jumped 36, I haven't done that all season. So to go out and do that, I've surprised myself. And even I only got like 4 out of my 6 jumps. So I feel like if I really could do all of them, I could have hit an even further jump. And I missed my last jump, as my coach said, due to my hurdles. But I really did feel like that set the tone. I was really ready, and I felt ready to compete in every single race.
What was it like taking the trophy around the track again?
Oh, it was amazing. I was so excited. I even got the whole team to do this whole dance just to show our excitement and just to prove that we can do it and prove to the underclassmen, even though like we're leaving, people can step up and we still have a great chance of even competing and trying to win it next year as well.
What was that moment like for you again, Jada, getting a chance to celebrate with your teammates like that?
It was really, really, really exciting because we knew that it was going to come down to really, really, really a small amount of points. And so coming down to the wire, like the last hour of the meet, we were just going back to the board and checking the results and kind of trying to calculate who was going to place where and figure out what was going to happen before they actually announced it. And so once we figured that out, we were just pretty much on the edge of the track and waiting for them to let us go out. And like Hannah said, we did the dance and we were all just running around, and it was a lot of excitement. And it was really great to see the younger girls who had placed and stepped up, like Coach Rob said, and see how they experienced that moment, because there were people there that hadn't made it last year for individual events. So just to see them kind of recognize their progress and their growth and all their accomplishments throughout the day was a really great feeling too.
Could you have pictured a better way to end your high school career?
Nope. No, definitely not. Especially being able to do it again when we hadn't been favored so much throughout the season. And so we had kind of been viewed as the underdogs, and so to come out and be able to do what we weren't really supposed to either year, and to just prove to ourselves and our teams and our school and all the rest of the competitors that we are capable of doing this as a team. And it's not just me and Hannah, or it's not just 2 or 3 people that score. We have a whole team, and as a unit and like a family, we can do these big things. It's a really great feeling.
And people that want to follow your track career as it continues won't have to look very far. You'll be running next year at the University of Maryland. Tell us about that decision.
Well, I had visited Maryland. I think it was my first school that I ever went to the campus of. My junior year, I went for a junior day, and Coach Rob and my mom were with me, actually. And I had met the coach, and it was just such a kind of familiar and, like, close atmosphere, even though, like, it's a really big campus. And I went, and it felt like a family to me even then. And I know that they have a really great program that's growing, and they just showed a lot of interest and, like, most importantly, excitement for me. And that was something that I didn't feel at all the other schools. It was just so close-knit, and they were just really eager for me. And I felt like all the attention and like attention to detail and all the effort that they put into getting me there and checking up on me was just something that I really needed. And all the interest they showed was really great. It made me feel really comfortable there.
And Hannah, you'll be competing at Northeastern.
Yes.
Tell us about that decision.
It actually wasn't even in my mind to go to Northeastern towards the decision making, but then they ended up calling my parents, and I was very excited because it was something totally new. It's in the city, Boston, long ways away from Frederick. It's just a whole different environment, and I love that. I love a new adventure. I'm very eager to explore and just find new things within myself. So I think that's what really pushed me to further explore that option, and then ended up being the best. So I'm glad I did.
You seem to be happy and excited outside your comfort zone. So,
Yes. I like to explore new things and push my boundaries and everything.
All right, Coach Rob, we talked about it over the weekend. You got some big shoes to fill next season, but you feel you have the athletes to do it. What might this team look like next year?
Absolutely. So if anybody truly paid attention to our team, there's depth. You and I have had several conversations, and our awesome coaching staff, Coach Pat, Coach Jeff, Coach Jarrett, Coach Tara, Trainer Scott. We've always mentioned the teachers and the atmosphere. Frederick is a gold mine of both academic and athletic talent, and regardless of how people view it outside of Frederick, we're excited about not only the people that we have that have already scored. We have extremely strong depth in the hurdles. We only graduated one young man, so our men's team, our young men's team, is going to be something to reckon with next year also. On the girls' side, we had some underclassmen step up pretty significantly. Barari, Malaya, some of those people in those events are going to shoulder some of that responsibility. Some things aren't replaceable. You can't replace Mikhail, our senior thrower. You can't replace Jada. You can't replace Hannah. But what you can do is build the culture that they've helped you build and keep it maintained, and welcome one of the next Jadas or Hannahs into your program.
Paige Tolbard will be back, one of your fine
absolutely.
throwers. Yeah.
Yep, Paige is coming back. Barari, who stepped up and scored big in the open 800 for us. Again, we mentioned Malaya, unfortunately disqualified in the 300 hurdles, but she scored. So, again, those individuals are going to be key for us in leadership. Nicole Osei scored in the triple jump. And high jumped also and was bringing us leadership throughout the meet. So when you think about those individuals, they now have to carry the chip on their shoulders because this team didn't want to be the team to lose it. And now that responsibility goes to the next group. And we're excited to get started, get a little bit of rest. And then we come right back and we start in the weight room. So it's kind of repeat our process and see if we can repeat the results.
Yeah, you guys scored 100 points over the weekend to outlast the field, including Franklin, and a good field, including Franklin in Class 3A. So, Jada Smith, Coach Rob Dixon, Hannah Meredith, congrats on all your success. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and we're back in a minute with the Oakdale boys track team.